Oh, and then they did crown Grant as king, and then they said,
shocker. Yeah, the only male out there besides him.
yeah, shocker. But then,
yeah, and then the lame.
yeah, what do you think about this?
This was dumb.
Tell what happened here.
Yeah, they're like, oh, instead of a prom queen, we're just going to give it to all of you because all of you deserve
all
it.
queens.
Yeah, that was a dumb.
And then everybody got a crown. Welcome to A Fine Podcast with your hosts, Amanda and
Joseph. Yeah, welcome back, everyone. Another episode.
Can you believe we're on episode 3 of The Bachelor?
Yes, I can.
Wait, why?
Because it's 3 episodes, and we're here.
But I can't believe it. I'm cherishing the time.
Yes.
You're just like, when can we get to the finale already?
I mean, we're awaiting it. We're excited, but we're awaiting it.
Yeah, we are looking forward to that. But a huge announcement is that we are in our podcast studio.
Yes, finally. It's nice to be back.
Yes. On our mics and in action.
Yes. The way it should have been.
Wow.
And now it is. So it's nice.
Yes. So we enjoyed watching this episode, although we did have 2 crazy children to watch while we were also watching the episode. But yeah, it was interesting. And what did you think of it overall?
Yeah, I mean, we got some more information on on Grant and which women he's interested in and which ones went home, and the ending was not as suspenseful as it could have been due to previous previews giving away the end result of this one, but
Yeah, so we'll get into all of that. But overall, were you thrilled with this episode?
yes.
Oh, wow.
It was captivating.
That's great. I'm so glad to hear you say that. Quick thoughts before we watch this episode. I saw on social media, well, actually, you saw first that Grant released a song on his own.
Well, yeah, because I was after the first episode. Well, the second episode where he had the little song. I was trying to see if they had the little song he made up on the piano with the date with Alex.
That he made up.
On YouTube, yes. But then I saw, as I was searching for that there was some other song that he released the week of the first week came out. And yeah, so I guess he's also promoting some music at the same time as this. So,
Which there's some thoughts about him doing this on social media right now. Maybe he was just after it for the music, but no, I believe you can want to release some songs and then also find true love.
maybe it's like a contingency plan in case the love doesn't work out. Maybe he has a better music career out of this whole thing. But
Well, he is talented, and he had a good song on that date with Alex, even if he really didn't make it up on the spot. So
yeah, but nonetheless, I mean, I didn't even listen to it. I just saw that it came out. But
that's weird. So. I didn't listen to it either. We'll have to listen to it.
Well, I guess I'd take it back. I listened to like 10 seconds of it. I was bored, and then I moved on.
It wasn't good?
No, because it was very different from like what that little piano thing he did was.
What was it called?
I think Party Girl.
Oh. You didn't even get to the chorus?
Didn't seem like it was fitting for the whole show, but...
No chorus?
No.
Maybe it had a good chorus.
I had something else that was higher urgency than continuing
Party
the
Girl.
listening of that song. So.
Wow. Yeah, well, he needs to release that little piano thing he did. That would be good.
Yeah, that would have been better.
party girl. Gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
So this episode starts with them letting us know, and by them, I really just mean Jesse letting us know that there will be 2 one-on-one dates, Carolina and Beverly, and 1 group date. So that didn't all pan out as what they originally said, but that's how it was supposed to go this week.
All right, because of the eventful thing, but yeah, I guess I missed this. So I guess it's kind of following the format. Well, this whole thing really seems heavily following the format of Golden Bachelorette. But I guess he's just picking each week a girl that he can have a one-on-one date with. Kind of how Joan did the same thing.
Yeah. And it might be like someone he has a connection with and then someone he doesn't know as well.
Right, okay.
Which that's why I think he picked Carolina and Beverly.
Well, yeah, but Carolina at least already won the dance thing. The little improv.
Right. He has a connection with her, so maybe he wants to explore that more.
Yeah.
Beverly hasn't really had much screen time.
Yeah, she's been a nobody so far. And continues to be a nobody because
Okay.
we never hear of her again.
Well, we'll have to talk about what happens with her and then also what online is saying has happened with her as well.
Oh.
But first, let's talk about the group date. So this is a finance-themed group date, and it starts off with that song, I'm Looking for a Man in Finance. Remember?
Oh, I mean, I heard some music going in the background.
This is when the children were screaming or something.
Well, I heard the song, but I'm not familiar with that song.
What?
Yes.
Juliana Huff danced to it on Dancing with the Stars. That was her big moment. The finance song.
No.
This season when we watched it together.
I totally missed that then.
Do you remember when she broke out into a dance? When she was
the
hosting?
one time she danced?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I remember that, but
you don't remember what song it was?
No.
And then they had all the tall men with their briefcases going finance, or
no.
You haven't heard of this song on TikTok?
No, because I don't consume TikTok.
Yes, you do.
Only with you.
I'm looking for a man in finance, 6'5", blue eyes, finance.
Wow,
It's like a TikTok
this is
song.
news to me. Wow.
Okay, this is crazy. So I thought that was funny that they played that,
Yeah.
but they're referencing.
I guess because it's trending right now, so that's why.
Well, it is very trendy, but it was trendy like 6 months ago or
They're
something.
bringing it back.
I guess. But they're referencing Grant because he's a day trader. So would you equivalent that to a man in finance?
No.
Or would you equivalent it to a gambler?
Yeah, it's more of a gambler at that point.
I'm looking for a man in finance. You have to listen to that song.
Yeah, I'll have to familiarize myself with that.
So Grant, big finance man.
Yeah, he's in the casino gulag.
Day trader.
Yeah.
Do you think he's a successful day trader?
I mean, he's mentioned he's at least financially stable, so I guess I'm sure he's doing other things. I can't imagine maybe it is, but.
And music.
Right.
And basketball.
That seems just more for fun.
I thought he played pro basketball.
Oh, did he?
I don't know.
Did I? Yeah, maybe he's in some Canadian league or something.
Well, not anymore.
All right, because of his injury.
Did he have an injury?
I don't even know anymore.
Everybody just leaves because of an injury whenever. I thought that was Nick from Love is Blind.
Yeah, but I mean, that's usually if they've stepped away from the sport, it's usually why they would stop. It's usually not like I now want to be a lawyer, so I'm gonna quit my professional basketball career to become a lawyer.
Yeah.
Or anything else.
Speaking of Love is Blind,
Yeah.
it premieres on Friday and we'll be reviewing it.
Yeah.
We're super excited. Season 8.
Yeah.
Can you believe it's on Friday? It's coming up so fast.
Wow.
Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Yeah. That'll be a nice time.
Yeah. For Valentine's Day, we can watch the first 6 episodes of Love is Blind or whatever it is.
Oh my gosh.
That'll be our big date.
6 hours of pod talking through a wall.
Well, over 6 because some of the episodes are longer than 6 hours.
Yeah.
I actually don't know how many episodes are premiering first. Is it 6?
We'll need to be heavily medicated.
Wow. Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
No, we don't have to do that on Valentine's Day. We can watch it the day
I mean,
after.
Valentine's Day is on Thursday anyway, so
No, it premieres on Valentine's Day.
then that's Thursday.
It's Friday.
Valentine's Day is not on Friday.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
If you would have paid attention to your Love is Blind premiere, you would have known that.
I guess so. I thought it was Thursday.
But yeah, we're excited about that. We are excited about that.
Yes.
So going into this group date, it's about finance, and there are 2 guests that come and join Grant. And one is Daniel, who is the founder of Kind Bars, and we also saw him on Shark Tank.
Well, yeah, and Shark Tank is also ABC, so that's why they get all these people. I'm learning now there's all these people because even the person that comes in the other date about the dogs, she's from a show that's on ABC.
Oh.
So they're just bringing in all these other basically employees of ABC to
Great.
But yeah, so we see Daniel from Shark Tank, who's one of the investors.
Yeah.
Since it's pretty fitting for a man in finance.
But the other person that was not really fitting for this was the comedian Hannah that they brought on. But yet she got most of the screen time in the big challenge. And you barely saw Daniel at all.
Yeah, bringing him on really didn't make sense. I mean, yes, because he's in finance, and that was it.
Because we're looking for a man in finance. That's why we brought him on.
Right, yes. But he does not have the personality to be the one driving those asking a bunch of women about these like insane well, I guess they're not insane questions, but
some of them were provocative questions, but others were
they were looking for that, I guess, or they just did that. But he just doesn't have the I can't see his personality like running the show with the questions and stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's why he didn't get screen time
Right.
doing it. But he's more relative to finance. But that's why the ladies started catering their answers towards the comedian instead of giving serious answers. Yeah, someone had automated teller machine written on their note card, and she bypassed that person and gave Grant bucks to the person who said, "In my pocket," for what does ATM mean?
Yeah, I mean, that is ridiculous.
Money in my pocket. Yeah, so it was a little ridiculous. But what did you think about the concept of Grant bucks?
Pretty lame. I don't know. The whole thing was just because then, yeah, I mean, the whole point was for him to try to find someone who's at least like a little
financially
literate.
Yeah.
And then it just turned into like a big game. And then probably it was as soon as one of them put a wild answer and that person won the bucks, then it just completely tarnished the whole premise of the game and just made it this. I mean, yeah, I guess it was fun for him, but it wasn't very.
It didn't reward the people who were taking it seriously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess they had some fun there. So.
Yeah, but that wasn't really the point of the people or the whole event.
Right.
So.
I bet Daniel was like, "What the heck did I just join?"
Yeah, this was probably totally regrets signing into
He
that.
didn't speak.
Yeah, he said that in the beginning, and then that was it. He was just like a ghost on the wall. Probably because he like realized as soon as like after the first answers, what a joke it turned into, and then was like, I don't want to be associated with this. Like, I think it would have been different if they had like a, I don't know, 10 or 15-minute spiel. You know, they didn't have to televise much of it or whatever, but just like a spiel of him talking about, you know, financial literacy or something, or independence of it. But
Maybe they did, and they cut all of his scenes because it just wasn't entertaining enough.
maybe, yeah.
Because it just looked heavily like one-sided to the comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the women also changed into their power suits for this competition. They had a rack full of suits,
Yes.
which was pretty pointless, I guess. But
And yeah, seeing
it got them in the financial mindset, right?
yeah, to give a wild answer.
Yeah. Some of the answers were crazy. What was it? It was like, what did you spend the most money on? Or no, what's your most shocking purchase you've ever made?
Yes.
They were all like technically financial related, but it's not like they're going to ask boring questions like, what percentage do you contribute to your 401k?
Yeah, I mean, they turned it into like almost like a bachelorette party. That's what it felt like.
Why?
But because the questions were just not, I mean, it was like, what was the most dumb thing you've spent your money on?
And they turned it into like, what's the most craziest thing I've ever purchased?
Right. So yeah, the whole thing was just a joke.
So they even got into that, what do you call that thing that is like air and money flying everywhere and you go into it?
Yeah, like the tornado cash thing.
Yes.
Like
they
a
had
hurricane of money that
of
you
grant
tried to
bucks.
grab. Yes. As the final. Well, because it was, you know, whoever had the most bucks got on the date with him that night, or
got to win more time
not the
with
date,
him or
but
something.
just some one-on-one time.
Which was Bailey. She won. And then I think there was like a list of things for her to trade in her grant bucks to
I don't know if that
purchase.
was actually serious or not.
Yeah, because she's like, I have this many grant bucks and I can either get, I don't remember what the choices were, but she picked a t-shirt of Grant's that he previously wore.
Oh, yeah, this was weird. It was like a
This was
t-shirt of his
really
that
weird.
he's slept in or something.
And that's basically all she got out of this whole competition was a dirty t-shirt that needs to be washed.
Yeah, because she went home that night.
Yeah. And he was like, here's my dirty laundry.
But they didn't even
Goodbye.
have that much. They didn't even film that much of the interaction of them with the one-on-one.
That's because it was that short.
Yeah, or that bad too, where that just wasn't. They really didn't.
And they're probably
click.
whispering in Grant's ear, please send her home tonight. You have to send her home.
That or he
so
just
boring.
he probably just knew him.
Yeah, I know.
There wasn't a connection, but yeah, because
then it quickly cuts to Grant and Parisa, which I think they stuffed their mouths with cake or something.
Well, they were doing she made something or some food that was had significance with her family, and
see, I missed that part.
They played the whole Chubby Bunny game.
Okay, I missed that, but yeah.
Yeah, but she did during the whole money thing. All the women sat in their own spots, and then there was a chair, next to Grant. She did capitalize the moment by sitting next to him there.
Smart.
Which that I mean the whole Zoe thing or Zoe drama for like that I feel like is a more appropriate way to play. If you're shooting for your your shot or whatever, like from the previous, like I feel like that's clean. It's not great. Like it wasn't really like cutting into the other women. It was just an opportunity, and she took it. I think that was like a
good
versus
way
like just
to
like
do that.
sticking out during the event to drag them out and then completely break the flow of things.
Yeah, I agree. That was a better way to capture his attention and make your presence known.
Yeah. And then she was the winner of that night
Yeah,
for the
which
date night. So
and no one complained about her
yeah,
at all. So
yeah. No, I think that was a great way to do it.
yeah, instead of just in front of everybody interrupting everyone's time and then
Yeah, but too. I mean, that game he mentioned. That was this is the most he's laughed in a while, and he did have a lot of fun. So I think it was a pretty natural choice for him to. Their conversation seemed the most engaging out of everyone from that time. So it seemed natural that she won that night.
yes.
Got the rose that.
So Parisa got the group date rose.
Yes.
Yes. So Zoe is telling the girls that she felt really uncomfortable the whole time during the competition today. And then she starts crying. And then we cut to Allie Joe's interview and she says, Zoe better not make this night all about her. And then the whole drama with Zoe ensues too, again. And then Serafina says that Zoe's dress is the shortest dress she's ever seen, basically talking about her. And then Zoe's really bothered by this.
Yeah, this whole thing, I don't know. This seemed like a kind of a drama ploy because she basically seems to have a rough day with the group date and whatever, and then she's like venting to the other girls that it wasn't a great day for her and starts crying and all this stuff, and it just, I don't know, it seems a little on purpose, maybe not, but I mean, I don't understand what was the point of venting to the other girls about that.
Especially when she wasn't getting along with them.
Yeah, especially you already had this big fight with them last episode. Why are you gonna vent to them about that?
And then Seraphina's saying that about her, not great, but Zoe's reaction to it, she just like fed into that, and then she could have turned around and said nothing or said yeah, and I'm rocking my dress or something, and instead it was very much, oh my gosh, this is so terrible. I'm going to go tell Grant about this. And then when she's telling Grant about this, it's like, I think another girl did this too. Yeah, I think it was Carolina too. So whenever they're talking to Grant and saying, this person bothered me, they're like labeling it, this person bothered me. And they won't say like who. Like she didn't come out and say, Serafina said this about me and this is why I'm upset. It's like putting Grant in like the place of like having to play a guessing game as to.
Yeah, that I don't get. I mean, yeah, Carolina did it really bad because he actually started like having to say names, and she's like, no, no, no.
Oh, we'll
no.
talk about that.
Right? Yeah, but
that was terrible.
But yeah, with them, they just say that. Well, and they even, man, I'm already forgetting, but somebody did too last week. They mentioned somebody with some, or I don't remember that, but yeah. So she comes out, and then or Zoe's explaining to him, that she's kind of feels attacked and all this stuff.
So, what do you think about her reaction to all of this?
I don't know. It's a little drama filled. It feels. I don't know. She's being very light about it. I mean, I get in one, because she's like, well, I haven't really done anything, and yeah, I mean, you haven't done anything directly to the girls, but that move you did from last week just put a bad taste in all their mouths, so now they don't have this great impression of you,
right?
And so, I mean, I get her in one regard of yes, yeah, no one's directly come after you, but you haven't done a great job of. And since then, it doesn't seem like there's been much. They seem like they've been inviting of you, but I don't know. I just think it's a little drama filled. That's all.
Yeah. So Grant says he appreciates her telling him about this and says that if she's herself and that offends people, it just shouldn't matter. And then they kiss and then that's it. So, um, but then Grant addresses all the women at the end of the night after he talks to her. And he says, everyone should be kind to one another. And he doesn't want anyone to feel like they're belittled. And then that makes all the women upset.
Yeah, which that I don't. I, I don't know. I mean, I would. It would have just been more of to just have Zoe say who it was, and then he could have taken her aside one on one, kind of like he did with Rose and Carolina's situation. But just had a one on one with her to explain, to talk about it, or even have the two of them discuss it privately or something. The big announcement in front of the whole group, I think, is just.
But that's what he felt like he had to do because Zoe never said who it was.
Yeah, well, I would have just said,
who is it?
Didn't tell me, or
Don't
then it won't be
address it.
addressed.
Yeah.
What's the point of hiding their name? I don't understand why you're trying to.
Yeah, what is the point of that? You're trying to protect basically your enemy in this
Yeah.
household?
I mean, if you're already going to come out and bring it as an issue, then just what's the sense in not telling who it is?
Right.
Because I think it just would have been, because then it brings on all this mystery, and all of them, are saying, well, who's not, who's being the jerk, and et cetera, and all this stuff as we see into the, the next day or the next morning. They're all frazzled about who's.
Yeah, and some of them are
mean.
really crying hard.
Yeah, this whole, I don't know.
It seemed crazy and out of place. Alex is like
There's like
sobbing.
5 of them that were just like bawling the next day. Like, I really don't.
And what were they saying?
There's like, we don't know who it would be. We've tried to be so inviting of everyone. Like, who's being mean about who about?
And
stuff.
that made everybody sob.
Yeah. I don't know. It was. It was. It was different to see that.
It's definitely strange. So fast forward to Carolina's one-on-one date. We see Grant standing next to a private plane with a red carpet rolled out. And we notice that this was the same plane as the Golden Bachelorette date between Joan and Pascal. And they went to Vegas too.
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, this is like one of ABC's private jet planes, or private jets that.
I'm looking for a man and find.
That, yeah, maybe this is Grant's private jet.
From day trading. He loaned it to Joan.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's just one of their vehicles of transport.
Vehicle.
But that ABC owns. But
So,
yeah, it is the same
yeah.
one. They go to the same place. And
Vegas.
that's why this whole thing seems, because even the group date after this is, the prom thing, which was a bachelorette. So there's like all this like just bachelorette 2.0 framework. Like, it's just like,
Oh,
put
yeah,
Grant
because that
in
was similar to
Joan's shoes of like the formula, because
they had prom night on
they
the
go
Golden
to Vegas.
Bachelorette.
Yeah, and that's why they brought all the guys back.
Yeah.
On the prom, because it was
Oh.
when like they won.
So they're copying all the dates of the Golden Bachelorette.
Yes, it's very. The repetition of it is there. It exists.
On their way to Vegas, they were taking pictures in the plane and drinking and having fun.
Yes, Polaroid pictures to be exact.
Yes. And they were rapping on the plane too.
Yes. Well, Grant was.
No, she tried to.
Yes,
Tried.
but she was not very good, so that's why only Grant was doing it. She tried. She wasn't doing it.
At least she did something. But they get to Vegas and then they get to a needle-looking building.
Yeah, so it's some jump in Vegas. I think it's called like the Sky Jump or something, but where you
go to the top.
Yeah, it's like
and jump off.
Right. It's like a simulated free fall or sky. I wouldn't even say it's free fall, because the machine, you're like, it's not even like a bungee jump where it's like a free fall and like a true free fall. It's simulated. You've got like a crane that's like lowering you down,
It looked pretty scary from the angle I
controlled.
saw.
Yeah, but it's like controlled. It's like a controlled fall. It's not even like, because I don't know, the way they were not falling that fast. Like it was pretty slow. And
Really?
yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just,
It looked really scary from my point of view. So
I didn't think it looked that bad, but because it just, I don't know, I mean, yeah, the first it was like, oh, but then when like after Grant jumped, and then it was like, oh, he's kind of not really falling that fast,
wow.
and especially because they were doing all the poses and stuff the next go around, like it just seemed like it was
Yeah, they
much
jumped
controlled.
twice.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be like the fun jump off, I guess, but it just did not seem like a real free fall.
Yeah, let's see you up there and saying that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if I'm hooked into a crane, yeah, absolutely, sure. There's no fear in that.
No fear. I thought it was a pretty
I mean, sure.
steep
For some
fall.
people, there's like a mental block to take the step off. But
Yes, but they did fall from a high.
yes, in a controlled setting.
Okay. I would hope it's controlled. If it's out of control, then you'd pass away.
I'm just saying, compared to like bungee jumping, like that was nothing compared to like a bungee jump.
I hate the bungee jumping.
I mean, I agree. I wouldn't not
That
do the
looks
bungee jump because I
really
don't
unsafe.
trust the cord. But I'm just saying that
Yeah. If you had to do it, you'd probably do it this way.
because it's he jumps off, and then if they start swinging, I'm sure they almost like hold you in the air for a little bit before they start letting you down. Where like bungee jump, you just go. It doesn't matter where you fall or where you jump. It's just gonna be, you could go wherever.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Where because they even jump off backwards, which is like strange.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not dogging on it, but I mean, I'm just saying it's just very.
No, if you had to do it, you'd
controlled
probably
set.
do it this
It's
way.
probably like a great way if you wanted to try something, then versus like skydiving or something where it's like a true free fall. Then yeah, you could do this as like a warm up to it or something.
Or do this and then don't do the other unsafe activities. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they had fun. And then they get dressed and they go to this nightclub that's just for them for dinner.
Yeah, they rent out a club, which actually looked pretty cool because they have like dinner in the pool.
Yeah, so they take off their shoes and they walk to their table.
Yeah, it's like almost looks like a foot deep, 6 to 12 inches deep of water, and then the table and the chairs are
That does
out
look
on
fun.
that, so
Yeah.
you could kind of. It's an interesting concept. I haven't seen that before, so yeah. So they have dinner there. They talk about things.
Do you ever see people eat on this show, or like on a date and they're talking? All you see is talking, right? You never see them.
Yeah, because you're really gonna have someone talking and
I
then
know you.
chewing.
If you were on this show, you would not touch your plate probably, because you'd be like, just focus on the cameras.
Well,
and smile.
yeah, right, and yeah, maybe that's what they're doing too. It's just.
Do you think they do eat, or is it just for show and
I
then
don't
they
know.
eat later?
I mean, you have like some of the other ones where they get up and leave and the plate is still full.
Yeah.
I don't know if they like leave and it's like, all right, cut, action or whatever. You got your stuff, so now you can go back and eat.
Maybe, yeah.
But I mean, I can't imagine they would just set out that plate for just
I wouldn't be able to
the shot
focus
and not.
on the conversation. I'd be starving. Be like, can we eat some?
I mean, if they're actually hungry yet, or
they eat before they come and then they just
Right.
sit there.
Yeah, because they'll eat it afterwards or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd probably have to eat before I come then.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But yeah, so they eat, and then
Maybe they eat. Who knows?
Well, right. They're sitting down with a plate of food in front of them for hours, and Carolina brings up that she has epilepsy and that it's been a deal breaker for past relationships, and it's been, a strain on her. And
She gets really emotional, and he gets emotional hearing about this. They're both crying.
yeah, he does get emotional with it, and yeah, I mean it's a pretty big subject, and I mean clearly she has confidence to bring it up at this point, but too, I mean if that was potentially a deal breaker for him, then let it know now before they go 5 episodes in, and then that's a deal breaker for him down the road.
Yeah, well, he says, this won't stand in the way of anything at all, and I'll always be there for you.
Yeah, or he's like, this is a problem, but I can't kick you off the show now.
Which
for
that's
about
ridiculous. If that's actually
2
a,
episodes,
if that's actually
to
a
make
problem,
it look like
that's terrible. If you love the person, then it shouldn't be a problem.
Yes, no, of course not.
But she says that her seizures are controlled with medication, and she just has to take it easy sometimes after certain activities. And
Well, this is why I guess it wasn't enough, because I almost wonder, how I guess she was fine doing that activity, but I mean,
Yeah.
that seems like a pretty,
I did think back to the activity she just did, and I was like, wow, that was a big one.
yeah, like I'm surprised she almost didn't mention to him that, or maybe she just didn't want to talk about it at that point, but but she does mention like the next day, I think, that she was kind of suffering pretty bad due to doing that. And so,
Yeah. Well, Grant also asks her if she's ready for marriage, and she says she is. And she says her and Grant are pretty similar, that they're always showing up for people um and sticking around for people, because I think Grant talked a little bit about his dad and the issues that happened growing up there with his dad being distant. And they end the date by Carolina getting the rose, and then Grant saying he could really see himself falling in love with her. So I think that ended pretty well for Carolina.
yes, for the time being, until some drama ensues.
Yes, drama.
But yes,
But first, before the drama, let's talk about Beverly.
yes, our sick Beverly, who is
But it's time for her one-on-one date. Where is she?
she has left the premises. Beverly is out.
It's really weird. There was a quick little mention that Beverly got ill and she left the house, and she's never coming back to the house.
Yeah, I mean, I guess she had a little bit of like some talking heads and stuff in the first episode or the previous episode, but
Well, she was in the beginning of this one when she got the one-on-one date.
oh yeah, I guess in that first
The
clip where they
very
announced,
beginning.
right? Yeah, it would have been interesting to go back and look at her to see if there's any physical signs of her ailments, but
Well, online, when we looked it up, it said that she was out of breath during the basketball competition that just happened. And this led to a bunch of other issues that must have grown in time. And then she ended up having to leave. So that's what we figured out so far.
yes.
So instead of Beverly's date, we have a new date card, and it's a group date, and 3 random people were put on this group date card. We have Serafina, Dina, and Lytia.
I don't understand. I wonder why they shifted to that versus just picking somebody else for the one-on-one.
I'm really confused on why this happened.
Yeah, I don't really know why they did that, but nonetheless, that's what they do.
So a
And-
second really small group
Yeah.
date. And the theme of this date is puppy love. And they go to a dog rescue in LA, and they go to hang out with dogs because Grant loves dogs. And the date starts off with them taking pictures of themselves with the dogs. And then we see Lisa Vanderpump.
Yes, another ABC specialist.
What's her background? I don't know much about her.
I don't know either, actually, but
How did you know she was on ABC?
just a wild card guess.
Wow.
I don't know, everybody else has, so they're keeping the streak alive. But I think, but regardless, I mean, she's got some dog shows that she's a part of.
And she,
like rescues and stuff.
right. She is passionate about rescuing dogs. So she's the guest. And what was the point of her being there? Besides her just saying hi.
I mean, she was just there. She brought some dogs from one of the rescues, and they washed the dogs and gave them walks and
She
just
did?
hung out with them.
No, she was
brought the
telling
dogs.
people to do it, but
Well, she just brought some of the dogs for Grant and the girls to hang out with.
right. So first Dina and Grant wash a dog together, and then Grant and Serafino walk a dog together, and then Lydia sits with Grant and a dog.
Yes.
And that's how dogs were incorporated into this date.
Yeah. Well, and he too kind of mentions, at least, mainly with seeing the more focus with Dina about it, was like, if she could see having dogs or whatnot, because, he really wants dogs. And she mentions, she grew up with 12, so
She's definitely ready.
not adverse to having dogs in the house. So, but yeah, I mean, this was just more, I think, about whether they're willing to have one.
Was Dina the one who said she had like not a good living space to have a dog quite yet?
Well, she said she wanted one, but she is in a apartment, and she's working all day, so she'd feel bad just leaving the dog in the apartment, so
Yes.
she doesn't really want to get one yet. And so then he was like, "Well, I've got a house," and
Yeah.
so
From his day trading.
yeah, so
He's
then
like,
I
"Oh,
can get one. So
I can day trade and get
okay.
a dog for
Yeah.
So back at the house, Carolina, she's already jealous of the women on the dog date and is talking about this a little bit. And then we learn that Lydia gets a one-on-one date with Grant for dinner.
Yeah, this I don't know.
How did he pick her?
This whole thing really like turned to get the couple like that, but then it's like half of the day was the small date, and then the other half is a one-on-one. But nonetheless, he picks Lydia, which he already had a connection with in the previous episode as well. So
Yes.
he has a further conversation with her.
Well, he really opens up about his dad for that conversation.
Yeah, he gets emotional here as well.
Yeah, he's crying here and gets emotional and says his dad would tell him when he was growing up that his mother was the problem, but really he learned later it was his father that was the problem, but blaming his mother, and his mother just stood strong, didn't get involved in any of the drama, and took care of him and his family. And it wasn't until he got older he realized how wonderful his mom was in that whole situation, how she was holding down the fort, I think he said, and that she shows her love through actions instead of words. So he's talking about this and getting emotional about it, and says he can't wait to have a family, can't wait to have kids. Lydia opens up about her family and says when she was 3 months old, her dad passed away in a car accident. So her mom was so strong, she had to raise her by herself, which must have been incredibly hard. And she says she has a big family too, and that's her support system. So
Yeah. Yeah, so they kind of have a moment here, I think, to have a connection from a family level at this thing.
yeah,
So,
it was
yeah.
nice.
So, I mean, this is a,
They shared things.
yeah, something that furthers their connection. So, I do think this puts Lydia in a bigger standing as far as, or a stronger standing with, being one of the top contenders. So, but yeah, it's a good moment for them to have together.
And then Grant says, I have a surprise. And the surprise is them having a FaceTime call with Lydia's mother.
Yeah, they somehow video call her, and then Lydia gets to see her mom and show Grant to her, and
And then her mom goes, I hope you're not there with a bunch of other women in the background. And he goes, oh, no, no, no. It's just us. It's just us.
yeah, that was a weird. Well, I can justify understand that
Yeah.
the comment, but yeah, those. But
So that was nice. He got to meet her. And then they walk outside and there's an orchestra playing music and they dance a little bit together by themselves. And then
it's like a little.
not a whole
It's like a
orchestra, but
triplet.
yeah.
It's
There
like
were
a.
like 5 people maybe.
Was there? I thought there was 3. There was like a violin, a cello, and a
I don't
piano.
know. They like did a really like just super close up of them.
Well, yeah, and they do the classical Chopin song. So
Yeah, so they were playing. And then Grant says, after tonight, Lydia could really be my wife.
yeah, he speaks all this stuff and really, I don't know. I don't know if some of this is like just for the talking head part, but he is like, yeah, I could really see things with her.
Yeah, it seemed pretty serious.
Yeah.
So he's really just making a further connection with her.
Yeah, but I mean, I do think, yeah, I mean, she is probably the strongest connection he has so far, and it's
Do you think Carolina's as strong?
yes, but not as
Not as
strong.
strong.
No, yes, because I think they're him and Lydia are connecting more on a emotional level, where him and Caroline are like more on a physical.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So let's get to a little bit of the drama. Carolina said she was talking to Rose and she said that Rose told her that last week during that dance competition, Grant whispered in her ear and said that when I was dancing with Carolina, I really was thinking of you.
Yeah, I don't. Regardless, yes, it's a very bold accusation. So
Which we'll get to that a little bit later, but
yeah, yeah. It's nonetheless she tells Carolina, and then this like just puts Carolina in like a downward spiral about the whole thing now, because she starts questioning whether you know does he really feel how he does about her, or is this just a big show? And
yeah, so we see a sprinkle of this. And then it's time for prom date, which we'll see what happens more with Carolina and Rose into this date, but they have to enter the date all, or she does, all upset, but she puts on a smile.
oh, she didn't do that great of a job.
No, not really.
She looks still pretty visibly upset
The whole entire time.
during yeah. And but yeah, so they do so then they do this prom thing,
Corsages, dresses.
Golden Bachelorette Part 2 thing. They do the whole prom.
Well, Grant said he didn't go to his high school prom.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So I guess I don't know. Maybe it was because I guess he wanted to do that because he mentions he was more focused on basketball and stuff at the time. So
Or maybe he just got done watching the Golden Bachelorette prom episode and thought, That'd be cool if I can do that one too.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know when it filmed. Actually, he wouldn't have seen that yet, right? But anyway.
Yeah, technically.
But the Golden Bachelorette men joined the party.
Well, yeah, so a couple of them they're like the big reveal, but I mean this is like why they came because it's exactly what they did.
Gary,
But
Jonathan, Jack, and Keith.
yes. I thought Jack was a strange one to bring back just because the others were they made it much further along. I mean, Keith and Jonathan were the furthest along. I mean, they were just shy of hometown. And then Gary made it pretty far. Like halfway, I guess. But then Jack was like
Gary-
eliminated on like night 2 or something.
I know, but they really like to hype Jack up because of the burger thing.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, so there's like a little tidbit of him like cooking and there's like teaching the girls how to grill properly and
Which is what he was known for on the show.
yeah. But yeah, so they show up and they give girls just tell them to have fun and enjoy the moment. And
Yeah, they're kind of just like seen in the background from here on out.
yeah, that was like pretty much it. Other than there was like one time where Grant was dancing with somebody, and then they're like out the door, like all of them like poking their head out
Yeah, I
the
remember you
doorway, like
telling me
thumbing
that.
up and everything.
I missed that part.
But yeah, that was I don't know. They really didn't have a big. Well, and I guess there was one more part where they were kind of interacting. They're playing games and stuff with the girls, but
Oh, and then they did crown Grant as king, and then they said,
shocker, yeah, the only male out there besides him.
Yeah, shocker. But then,
yeah, and then the lame.
yeah, what do you think about this?
This was dumb.
Tell what happened here.
Yeah, they're like, oh, instead of a prom queen, we're just gonna give it to all of you because all
You're
of you deserve
All
it.
queens.
Yeah, that was dumb.
And then
They should have
everybody
just,
got a
like-
crown.
I mean, they could have totally made this as like a way to get a rose, or the rose becomes prom queen or something.
Right.
I don't know. The whole just everyone seemed very cop out.
It's kind of like that participation trophy thing.
Yes,
like, and
absolutely.
everybody won the competition. Everybody give yourselves a pat on the back.
Yeah, this was very.
Yeah,
weird.
that was really weird. I thought, wow, that's pretty lame.
Yeah, they really butchered that opportunity to do something else with it. I mean, come on, you could have had something to make the girls like fight over each other to try to win prom queen or something about it. You could have created some drama filled moment, but
Yeah, I was disappointed with that. Disappointed. But some other standout moments. So Dina asks Grant to prom, even though he's already at prom. Remember this?
well, yes, yeah, because it was like since you never got asked or anything
yeah.
like that, for her to do it a formality of actually asking you and whatnot.
And then Grant says to Dina, you're different because I haven't really dated anyone before that was success driven.
Yeah, because she's this attorney and she's made a name for herself and maybe a couple other girls, but I don't know. She definitely seems the most driven for like a career wise out of all the women. But yeah, so that is
It's a
something
pretty serious
new
career.
for him. Yeah.
Yeah. Then Carolina talks to Grant about what Rose said. And Grant is very upset hearing this. And he says, this is a lie. I never said anything like that. And then this is where he tries to guess, well, who said it? Who said it? And then he guesses 3 people that are incorrect, which is kind of embarrassing that he's just rattling off who he thinks would have said something like that.
Yeah, I mean, why she just didn't just say who it was very strange. I don't know if she was just trying to make it like a test to see if he could identify who it was. Well, more so like of a test of, if he says who it is on, the first try, then maybe
he's
then it
lying.
must be accurate. Because,
maybe it was.
yeah, and I could definitely see that kind of coming from her.
But since he said 3 random people that had nothing to do with it, then she felt bad. She's like, oh, no, stop guessing,
Yeah.
stop guessing. But then the
I feel
cameras...
like it was almost on purpose that he may have done that. because maybe he knew that she was trying to play this game. And
It really looked like he didn't say that, though. I don't know. But yeah,
I don't know.
it could have been strategic, I guess.
Yes.
But we never see Carolina say Rose. But then in the next scene, Grant says, "I've narrowed it down to Rose, so I know it must be her."
Well, I think it's because out of all out of the ones he said, and then out of the ones remaining, they were all on the basketball date, where she was like the only one left from the
There were only 4
the
girls on the
hip
dance
hop
date.
dance. Well, no, but he eliminated all the other ones. So
How did he eliminate them?
I don't know.
That's my question.
He did. They didn't get a rose.
How did he? No, there were more people on that date.
But yeah, I mean,
how did he narrow it down?
Look.
So
Or, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'd have to rewatch that. Maybe he just.
he
Maybe the
named
producers
3
just told
people.
him.
Then he said, "I narrowed it down to Rose," which she must have given. Carolina must have given some hint. I don't know. Maybe not. But anyway, he narrowed it down to her. And then he pulls Rose aside and talks to her about this. And Rose said, "Oh, well, I thought that was something that I heard you say." And he says, "I didn't do this. This is very disrespectful that you would say that." And Rose said, "Oh, well, Carolina and I were both spiraling and comparing notes." And then she said, "I could have been wrong, but I thought at the time I heard something like that." And then she says she's sorry. And then Grant walks away and says, "Yeah, we'll talk about it later."
Yeah, I mean, I really don't understand why she would say that out loud to begin with, knowing that that's probably gonna get back to him and then just make you look bad at this point and hurt your chances with everything.
Who do you think's telling the truth? How could that be true? I thought I heard you say that.
Yeah.
That sounds made up.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would say his character so far doesn't seem like he would.
Lie.
Yeah.
I don't think he's lying about it.
I mean, I think he is very physical with everyone, which could maybe lead to
why would
maybe something.
he
But
lean into someone's ear and say, "Hey, when I was dancing with her, I was really just thinking about you"? That's just so stupid to say to somebody.
yeah.
I don't think
So,
so.
yeah, I mean, I guess I'd say probably at this point that I don't think he did. I don't know. I only think what probably could have happened was they were comparing notes. Carolina was telling all the things about since he won or she won. She was saying a bunch of stuff that maybe made Rose upset or something. So then she said, "Oh, well, he said this to me in my ear," or something to almost
Which that's so
out of like jealousy or something.
ridiculous to make something up like that.
Sure, but that's the only thing I
thought
could
I heard him
think
say
of that. But I don't know. That's where I would think it.
That's the lamest excuse too. Is I thought I heard him say something like that.
Yeah.
Grant tells Carolina he talked with Rose, and she swears that I said it, but I did not. That's what he says. And then Carolina believes him, and that kind of closes out that drama there.
Yeah.
But now it's time for the rose ceremony. Uh-oh, who's going to get picked?
Yeah.
So,
all the fake suspense here.
woo! So first row, Zoe. Then next we have Juliana, Alex, Dina, Natalie, Serafina, and
Rose.
yes. And they really tried to make it look like Rose was getting eliminated, but you knew that she wasn't because
Yeah, so I originally thought, oh, well, this is because in the previews, they kept putting this whole big thing, where Rose has this big statement saying, "Oh, you did me dirty," and all this stuff. And I thought, oh, well, this could make it here. Maybe she's saying this to Carolina because of this whole thing. But then she never said it. So then I was like, all right, well, then by Rose ceremony, she still makes it. She has to make it because she
that
has this
clip
whole phrase.
never came.
And it never happened in this
to be.
episode. So you knew, and then Rose was the big drama of who was, she was the last. She came down to the last Rose. So there was like Allie Joe and Bailey, I think, and maybe one other girl, but like you knew it was Rose at that point because she had this whole statement in this preview that she never said this episode. So obviously she has to say that at some point. So
And we think it's next episode, right?
I don't know when it is. I mean, I did see this time she's in a purple dress because in the preview they did. Oh, well, I guess the previews this time did look like it may only be next episode, not like the whole season. So it could be. All I know is she's in a purple dress when she says that. So if we see her in a purple dress, then she may say
it's going to be that one. Okay.
Yeah. But this is my whole thing with the previews because it gives this away.
Grant says that he liked that Rose apologized to him, and everyone makes mistakes, and he does have a connection with her. So that's why he kept her. And he eliminated Chloe, who we predicted last week had zero connection with Grant. He eliminated Bailey. I didn't see much of a connection there, too. And then Allie Joe, which she had a lot of interviews playing about her, but she didn't spend much time with Grant this episode.
Yeah, I mean, she's been feisty, but there just doesn't seem like they've had that much time to have a connection or anything. And
yeah.
But yeah, so he's all. But I do think it shows, out of these one-on-ones, I think he is kind of quickly identifying whether he wants to continue, entertaining a connection with them. Because now we've seen Chloe and Bailey; they both won events, and they got kicked out the night of that event. So if it doesn't go well, you're getting the boot. So.
If there's no connection, he's not afraid to.
Yeah.
He's not just going to keep somebody just for the sake of keeping them or because they won something.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good thing. If you talked, there's not really a connection. Okay, let's move on from here. So yeah, that was it. And then in the preview, we see next week they're going to Madrid.
Yes. That's pretty fancy.
Yes, very fancy. And then we see there's drama with Carolina. So we're excited to see what happens in Madrid next week. And
we'll see what happens.
What's going to happen with the Carolina drama or with the Rose drama?
Yeah. Well, there's another preview too from the last episode where Carolina walks up the stairs saying, "Oh, I guess I'm just the villain in this series or whatever," which they didn't play in this next episode.
Oh, yeah.
So if that doesn't get shown, then Carolina makes it and she's set. So that's another thing to look out for. And I still need to go back and watch the first one because...
You say that every episode.
Yeah, no, I haven't done it yet, which is pretty bad. But that preview from the first one, someone jumping in the water, I know that's the final, and I know whoever that is, she's making it in the finals. Absolutely guaranteed, because I know that I know that shot was from the finals.
And that's it for this week. Well, thanks so much for joining us for another episode of A Fine Podcast.
Yes, I hope you enjoyed this, and check us out on our social medias. Follow us, and we will be back with a new episode next week.
Yes, and give us a 5-star rating and subscribe.
Yes.
We'll see you next week.
Ciao.
Bye.